Every 11 seconds, an older adult in the United States enters an emergency room because of a fall. Not because they were careless, not because they weren't strong. Most falls happen for a quieter reason. The smallest stabilizing muscles in the body fade long before the large muscles do. Those tiny stabilizers around the ankles, hips, and core don't shout when they weaken. They whisper through slight hesitations, slower steps, awkward transitions, and a growing dependence on handrails and furniture. And then, one unexpected moment reveals how much support they've lost. The strange part is that the big muscles often remain strong enough for daily life, while the small muscles, the ones responsible for balance and precision, fade away. You might still feel capable lifting groceries or gardening, yet find yourself hesitating before stepping off a curb or reaching for something on a high shelf. This disconnect happens because strength and stability are not the same thing. Walking alone doesn't fix that. Walking is wonderful for heart health, mood, circulation, and joint mobility, but walking moves the body in a straight line. It doesn't challenge the side-to-side control that protects you on uneven ground. It doesn't train the quick reactions needed to stop a stumble, and doesn't strengthen the deep stabilizers that tighten just before your foot hits the floor. That's why so many older adults who walk regularly, sometimes miles each day, still feel unsteady when they encounter stairs, slippery surfaces, or unexpected obstacles. Today, you'll learn 5 movements that work better than walking when it comes to balance, stability, and independence. They are simple, joint-friendly, and designed to help your body respond more quickly, move more efficiently, and stand more confidently. They require no equipment and only a few minutes at a time. Think of them as tiny upgrades to the systems that walking forgets: the stabilizers, the reflexes, and the deep support muscles that determine whether you feel secure or vulnerable in your daily life. Before we begin, if you're comfortable, share your name and where you're watching from. It's always inspiring to see people taking steps toward better movement. Your commitment to staying active and independent matters more than you might realize. A quick safety note: especially if you have chronic conditions, recent surgeries, or joint issues. Remember, none of this is medical advice. Speak with your doctor or physical therapist before starting, especially if you have heart conditions, joint replacements, nerve issues, or recent surgeries. Let's begin with a movement that wakes up one of the most neglected muscles in the body. Picture the late afternoon. Your legs feel heavy. The ankles look a little swollen. You stand up, and the lower legs feel tired, almost weighed down. Many older adults know this feeling well. The culprit is often a single muscle deep in the lower leg, called the soleus. This muscle helps pump blood upward against gravity. When it's active, your legs feel light and supported. When it goes quiet, fluid pools and the ankles lose their natural support. Medical professionals sometimes call the soleus the second heart because of its critical role in circulation. Walking barely challenges the soleus. It activates it just enough to keep it alive, not enough to keep it strong. The seated heel raise strengthens this muscle in a way almost nothing else does. Sitting makes the larger calf muscle less involved, allowing the soleus to do most of the work. This isolation is exactly what makes the exercise so effective for people who need to rebuild foundational ankle strength. Sit tall in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Lift your heels slowly, feeling the back of your lower legs engage, then lower them gently back down. Keep your chest lifted, and let the motion be slow, steady, and controlled. Pressing your hands lightly onto your knees adds helpful resistance, just enough to make the muscle work a bit harder. If doing both heels together feels difficult, lift one at a time. The range of motion doesn't have to be large. Start with just 5 to 10 repetitions and notice how your lower legs respond. You might feel a gentle burn or fatigue. That's the muscle waking up after being underused. As this muscle strengthens, swelling improves, walking feels smoother, and your balance begins to regain a sense of quiet support. Many people notice that their feet feel more responsive and that their steps become lighter within just a few weeks of consistent practice. And now that your lower legs are awake, we move to a direction walking ignores: side-to-side control. Most falls don't happen in straight lines. They happen sideways, stepping off a curb, turning quickly in a crowded space, reaching for something beside you, or navigating uneven ground at a park or parking lot. Your body relies on a major stabilizer on the outside of your hip, the gluteus medius, to control these movements. When this muscle weakens, the pelvis dips, the knee leans inward, and the ankle struggles to hold you upright. Lateral weight shifts gently strengthen this entire chain without putting stress on joints. Stand near a counter or sturdy surface and place your hands lightly on it for support. Shift your weight onto one foot without lifting the other. Let that leg carry you for a moment, feeling the outer hip engage and the ankle adjust beneath you. Then glide slowly to the opposite side. The movement is subtle. Imagine your hips sliding like a drawer opening and closing, not your torso leaning like a tree in the wind. As you shift your weight, your hips, ankles, and core learn to support you in the plane where most falls occur. Some people feel a slight tightening on the outer hips or the ankles trying to steady them. That's exactly what should happen. This exercise teaches your body how to stay balanced and adjust your stance on uneven terrain. Even a small transfer is valuable. The goal is not to perform large, dramatic movements, but to train the subtle stabilizers that protect you in real-world situations. When you can shift smoothly without gripping the floor with your toes or holding tension in your shoulders, you'll feel a confidence walking alone cannot provide. And now that your side-to-side stabilizers are alert, we turn to a movement that strengthens the most important hinge in your entire body. Think about the number of times you bend forward each day, picking something up from the ground, loading a dishwasher, reaching into a drawer, or tying your shoes. Many older adults bend by rounding the spine instead of using the hips. Over time, this pattern strains the back, weakens the posterior chain, and shifts weight forward and increasing the risk of falls. The hips were designed to be your body's primary hinge, but if you don't use them that way, they forget how to function properly. A proper hip hinge teaches the body to bend from the hip joints instead of from the spine. It helps you move with better alignment, steadier posture, and less strain on vulnerable areas like the lower back and knees. Stand tall near a counter with your feet about hip-width apart and soften your knees just a bit. Push your hips backward slowly, as if you're trying to close a car door using your backside. Keep your chest lifted and your spine long. You're not bending down toward the floor. You're folding at the hips while maintaining the natural curve in your lower back. Then return to standing by driving your hips forward again, squeezing your glutes gently at the top. This movement doesn't need to be deep. Even a small hinge trains your glutes, hamstrings, and deep spinal stabilizers effectively. These muscles play a major role in balance, especially when bending, lifting, or changing levels. Practice this movement several times, focusing on the feeling of your hips moving back rather than your torso folding forward. With your hips now learning to take the load properly, it's time to challenge the communication between your brain and your legs. Because balance is equal parts muscle and reaction. When you lift one leg, the body performs an entire orchestra of small adjustments. The ankle makes micro-corrections. The core tightens. The hip stabilizers fire on the standing leg, and the brain tries to predict your next move while maintaining your upright position. Many older adults avoid single-leg positions because they feel wobbly immediately. But that wobble is not weakness. It's your body learning. Every wobble represents your nervous system gathering information and making adjustments. To practice safely, stand next to a counter with one hand resting lightly on the surface. Lift one knee as if taking a slow marching step and hold it briefly. Even just 3 to 5 seconds is beneficial. You may notice your standing leg working harder than you expected, with subtle engagement through the hip, thigh, and ankle. After a moment, lower the leg with control and switch sides. If lifting the knee feels too difficult initially, Lift your heel instead and allow most of your weight to shift to the standing leg. The goal is to let one leg take full responsibility while the other rests. Focus on a point in front of you at eye level rather than looking down at your feet. Your eyes help your inner balance system. Visual focus provides critical feedback that helps your brain maintain equilibrium. As you improve over days and weeks, the wobbling decreases. Because this exercise strengthens the very reactions that protect you when you trip over an unexpected obstacle, step over something, or change direction unexpectedly. When your reaction time improves, walking feels safer because your body is better prepared for surprises. You develop dynamic stability, the ability to regain balance while moving rather than just holding still. And now we bring everything together with the quiet strength movement that builds endurance better than walking. Those tasks require sustained endurance in your thighs, hips, and core, the kind of strength that lets you remain stable and comfortable during extended activities. The wall sit trains these areas safely and without strain, building the muscular endurance that translates directly to daily function. Stand with your back against a wall and slide down slightly until your knees bend just a little, perhaps 20 or 30 degrees. Even a small bend is enough. You don't need to create a 90-degree angle like younger athletes might. Hold the position while breathing steadily and naturally. Feel your thighs, hips, and core supporting you as they learn to maintain this position. Then slide back up when you've held it as long as comfortable, perhaps starting with just 10 to 15 seconds. This movement strengthens the entire support system you rely on for everyday tasks. It improves knee stability, glute strength, and core endurance simultaneously. And it does all of this without complicated technique. The wall provides support and feedback, allowing you to focus entirely on building strength safely. As these muscles strengthen over time, standing from chairs becomes easier, walking uphill feels more stable, and your posture improves naturally throughout the day. These movements work best when sprinkled throughout your day, rather than performed all at once in a formal workout session. Heel raises in the morning. Wake up your circulation before you start your day. Lateral shifts during breakfast teach your hips to stabilize while you're already near the counter. Hip hinges before lunch remind your body how to bend safely whenever you need to reach for something. Single leg holds in the afternoon sharpen your reactions when your energy might be dipping. And a gentle wall sit in the evening builds endurance while you're winding down. This routine does not require long workouts or strict discipline. These movements blend easily into daily life, fitting naturally into the spaces between other activities. Their power comes from repetition and consistency, not intensity or duration. 5 minutes scattered throughout your day provides more benefit than you might imagine. Your body is adaptable at every age. Muscles can strengthen. Balance can improve. Neural pathways can rebuild. Walking is still valuable and should remain part of your routine, but after 60, walking alone is not enough to protect your stability. These 5 movements fill the gaps walking leaves behind. They strengthen the muscles that keep you upright, confident, and capable. They train the reactions that protect you when the unexpected happens, and they build the foundation for continued independence. If this was helpful to you, let me know in the comments what else you'd like to learn. Stay steady. Stay strong. You're not losing power. You're learning how to use it differently.